All right, everyone, welcome back. This is game number 2 of Flying Penguins versus Team Team. This is for ESL One Mumbai 2019, powered by Intel, the North American Regional Qualifiers. I'm back. I'm your caster, Moxie. I'm here with the very knowledgeable Jenkins Dota, and
Oh
I'm
my
confused,
god,
Jenkins, because there's still a Viper in this pool.
you're so generous when you do your introductions. But yeah, I think Team Team, if you're not absolutely insane men, you first pick it. And probably what Flying Penguins is considering right now is, are they going to first pick a Viper? Do we need to ban it? Are they cocky? Do they think that they could deal with the Viper and that they don't need to pick it? Like, what's... Oh my god. You first pick Viper here. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you first pick Viper.
just do it. Just do it, Team Team. Who cares about honor? Who cares about the fact that this is a very broken hero? Just do it. Don't let them have it. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, no.
Not like this.
Oh, he
Not like this,
played it
Jenkins.
well. Like Nushan played it really well. I get why you pick the Enigma. I guess you don't want to reveal. Well, Viper can go in any lane though. Is the thing. Like the hero doesn't. It's very versatile in terms of the laning setup. So I don't. But he did play the Enigma well. I'll give him that. Did you know that Enigma he was changed in the previous patch such that the black hole is now 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds, and then 4.5 seconds? Like that was like a shadow buff nerf. But
Oh my
there
god.
it is. Of
Yep.
course. Of course, because it shouldn't have gotten through the entire draft in the last game. And it's unacceptable that you didn't first phase it. And Team Team is going to regret leaving that hero in the pool. I
Team Team,
can
you just broke
guarantee you.
Jenkins' heart. I hope you know that. I hope someone, you know what, later on, you should definitely message Brax and just be like, "What are you doing to me, buddy?"
I I I don't know if he'd like that. I message him that every night. What are you doing to me, buddy? But I really feel like these teams are far more even in terms of skill than it looked like in the last game.
Well, so a
Like
lot
I
of it
don't
was the draft. A lot of it was the draft.
I honestly think so. I don't think Team Team should look like the team where it's like, oh, they had glimpses of hope versus Flying Penguins. Nah, that's not how it is. Like these teams are equally skilled. They're both extremely good teams. It's just I don't has Ike's Mike been playing pubs? Like Viper is ubiquitously broken. 56% win rate in high level pubs as the third most picked hero. That's nuts. Like usually when a hero is the third most picked hero in Dota, the win rate is closer to 50% because there's just a huge sample size. People are first picking it, which drives the win rate down. This hero has a 56% win rate with the first pick that everybody's first picking it and banning it. It's 56% win rate. And the Shadow Shaman paired so well with it in the last game. So I get that pick. Like that was a dirty lane. Good lord.
Yeah, I don't know what Team Team is thinking here. Maybe, maybe they have a very specific plan up their sleeves, but after watching game number 1 with Flea and Snake King, and again, it doesn't have to be Snake King on this Viper. You could put really anyone on this Viper, move him around quite a bit, but that lane was impossible for that troll to do pretty much anything in. And then, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
Flea making really intelligent rotations, going up to the top lane, helping secure a kill. Even the Viper, too, after a certain point, just decides, leave his lane and start ganking around, joining up with Envy and Flea in that top lane, getting some kills there too. I'm a little baffled here. One of the first rules, right, is you
Okay.
never give them a run back, and they
Yeah,
exactly did that.
it's exactly the same thing. But we've talked a lot about Viper and being broken. Like let's talk about how do we counter this flying snake? Like what is it? What is it that counters him? Okay, so let's think. So he does a bunch of magic damage, like all damage over time, magic damage. Couldn't you pick up like an oracle and just put the magic shell on somebody, or
Mhm.
or maybe first phase a jug just so you have the healing ward for the dot damage and then the BKB, the magic immunity, I should say. Like you can't let this hero go through and ignore it. I think like you. Okay, so Lion, that's the
Lions,
counter.
it's a decent it's a decent response to the Viper, right? Being able to burst him down, sort of thing. But the problem is that if he starts getting ahead and he starts getting very, very tanky, we saw towards the end of that last match, which wasn't very long, Viper, not only did he have a complete set of, or not set, but he had the complete Guardian Greaves, he also had a full pipe too. Like, he just became so tanky, it was impossible to take him down. And of course, when you're running a Lion, especially if it's going to be a support, he's not going to, have that finger up very, very fast. And he's going to need time and items and ways to, like, close the gap. Otherwise, he's just going to get eaten up.
Yeah, it's a very squishy magic damage hero versus Viper that presumably is going to be played in the safe lane because Lion is a 5-role support. We could see a Brax Enigma. Maybe it's not going to be a Nusham Enigma. Maybe Nusham will actually be playing the Lion. But it definitely would surprise me to have that be the case because you see that Flying Penguin played Viper Shadow Shaman last game as a offlane duo, so to pick like the 4-role this early wouldn't make much sense when you know presumably what the lane the lane is at least going to have like a Viper or a Shadow Shaman in it. Very, very likely in the offlane. So that gives you some information to dictate your safe lane support pick. So it would really surprise me if this line isn't a 5-role right now, but yeah, and in that case, like exactly like you said, I feel like he's going to get chewed up, and he's not going to kill the Viper because he does exclusively magic damage. Another decent way to... Oh, they picked the Ember. They banned the Monkey King. They picked the Ember.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I guess partially, a bit of a denial pick, but Gunnar really didn't have the best of time during that last game. In fact, we both commented on the fact that, this Ember had drums, basically, and that was it. Like, there was no damage coming out from this hero. So maybe they have their own plans for him?
Yeah, it was definitely due largely in part due to the hard laning stage that the Ember Spirit had. Like, they got a couple of rotations after the laning stage, but he was getting doubled in CS by Royoya, which is natural because Monkey King's like an Ember Spirit counter. So I get it. If you're a team, maybe Ursa? Okay, Morphling. Morphling's a pick.
Okay.
So this is a decent hero. It's like a lot of damage over time from Flying Penguins that Morphling can use his morph. Although Viper is pretty good against Morphling because the Q is percentage-based damage, and of course when you're morphing to strength, you're maintaining the percentage but getting like a higher HP pool. So you can do a lot of damage to the Morphling and basically like essentially Reaper's like Necro's a counter to Morphling for the same reason. He's strength morphs, gets a lot of strength but maintains the same percentage, and of course when you have percentage based damage you're still doing the same amount of damage in terms of like relative. So yeah, Viper very good against the Morphling.
Ooh, that's another hero that we've been seeing a lot of either getting picked up or banned, right? The Elder Titan coming out for the side of Flying Penguins, and that's super, super good against Morphling as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good against Enigma too, just because you have this really long range ability to cancel the black hole. And the Earth Splitter is BKB piercing. Like, heroes that can ground target or target nothing and BKB piercingly interrupt the Enigma, in my opinion, are the largest counters to Enigma. So, for example, Warlock, Silencer, because you can't get a BKB because it doesn't solve the problem. You can't get a Lincoln Sphere because it's ground targeted. So at any point in the game, as long as Elder Titan saves the Earth Splitter, Enigma cannot black hole. He can black hole for a little bit, but eventually like it will get interrupted. And if there's an Earth Splitter in the fight, it makes the Enigma's game really hard because you can't just go in and black hole because you'll just get it interrupted. So it's difficult game. Pangolin, this is a good Pango game. It's a pretty free Pango game. There's not much to counter him. The only thing is like you have the Hex, but you also want to Hex the Morphling too, because otherwise that's the only way to stop him from stat morphing. So I do really like the Pango pick here, and I think that the Rolling Thunder is going to give them a lot of lockdown, a lot of chaos that Nusham, presumably if he's playing the Enigma, he can capitalize on, set up for a really nice black hole. The Pango is definitely a really good hero here.
Okay, that does give them another form of, like, that was one of the other problems, too, that we talked about in the first game, where they had the Enigma, but also we were saying, they have to initiate first, because if Spectre goes in with the Haunt, then it's going to cancel out the Black Hole, it's going to cause a lot of problems. So having this Pango also gives them another opportunity to kind of start get in position, have that initiation so that the Enigma can then just follow up afterwards, and there's not so much pressure on Nusham. Although Nusham's Black Holes, again, were incredible, so.
Yeah. It's always really nice when there's, like, two kind of team fight heroes on one team, because you can have one hero go in and like start it and just act crazy and cause the enemy team to like reveal their positions and put themselves out of position, and then that allows like a counter initiator. And I think Enigma, Axe, these Faceless Void, these like big team fight ultis, I think they're way better played as counter initiators. But if there's no good reason to like running in and being an idiot is not a great way to start a fight if you're no real threat. But if you're a Pango and you're going in and being a total madman with your Rolling Thunder, like that's a fight, you know? Flying Penguins can't get out of that. That's something they have to like probably commit to, which is just great for these counter initiators like Enigma. Ursa ban because it would be great against the Ember Spirit.
It's been interesting to see what's actually been like making it through these drafts, and also what's, you know, kind of sliding in like last minute, because we've seen, again, the Elder Titan was super popular. The Viper, obviously, last game especially, made it all the way to the last pick. The Pangolier has been very popular, as has the Enigma. And then the Lycan, we've been seeing a little bit of an upsurge with this Lycan lately as well. I think we saw some of it in the, was it the ESL or MDL? Trying to remember.
I think he was getting picked up a little bit in both. I saw a decent amount of Lycans in MDL. He's getting picked a lot in pubs too. Like this hero's like a 60% win rate, something like that. He's definitely quite strong right now. It's not the greatest against Ember Spirit because you have all of the cleave potentially that Ember can go, Maelstrom, all of these things to kill all the units and cleave off of the units. However, I'm really liking these three team cores versus the Viper. It's a lot worse of a Viper game. Like Pangolier has a magic, the magic immunity coming from the ultimate. Lycan can't get kited by all of the Viper's slows. Morphling can waveform out of the Viper area unless he gets a toast, of course, but picks up eventually a Manta style, potentially Lincoln Sphere. Like it's a little bit hard of a morph game, but these other two cores like Lycan and Pango don't really care about Viper, and they have the option with the Morphling and the Lycan to split push. They don't just have to fight into the Viper. So this is quite a bit better of a game, and Flying Penguins has 2 seconds left.
Well, that's one way to make sure that they can't kite, is to pick yourself up a Kunkka and just bring them right back in again with that X.
Yeah, that's quite good. Quite good against the Lycan. You ulti, run away, bring him back in. Typically, Kunkka is considered to be somewhat of a Morphling hard counter in the mid lane, just because you do so much burst damage that you can kill him if he's just sitting at low HP. Like you can just walk in and cleave, and you'll take away half his HP. And just in general, I think you'll probably outfarm and outlane a Morphling in the mid lane too. There's really no way that a Morphling can pressure a Kunkka unless he gets some sort of rotation, because Kunkka is just so damn tanky, so much regen, and just does more harass than the Morphling does. So Kunkka is typically just amazing against this hero. The only thing is, with the changes to cleave, now it considers armor, so the later and later the game goes, the less good Morphling is, the less good Kunkka is against the Morphling, because you cleave and you hit for 1,000, but Morphling has like 40 armor, so you don't really care. But then again, there's an Elder Titan. We have an Elder Titan Kunkka combo. This is a classic since they changed the cleave. This is something that I think Trent was theorizing about a lot, where you have the Elder Titan reduce everybody's armor to 0, and then the cleave, which was buffed in terms of the amount of damage it does due to make up for the fact that it now includes armor, does the exact same thing that it did before, except strictly does more damage now.
Right.
So this could be pretty devastating if they can get the Elder Titan plus Kunkka combo off.
So which draft are you favoring more here, looking at this? Because it seems like, team, you've got some really nice cores. You've got, a good way to kind of set up everything with Brax on the Pangolier, then follow up with Nushan. But of course, on the flip side, right, you've got Lellis, who's going to have to hang back, make sure he holds onto that Earth Splitter. You've got, of course, Kunkka, who's going to be able to use, X-Boat, take advantage of that natural order, making sure that they don't have much armor, and then just cleaving off of that. So which draft are you liking more here? Because I can't say personally.
I'm gonna say I'm actually favoring Team's draft just because of how nice the black holes were in the last game, and that was a really hard Enigma game, and I think this is a way better Enigma game for Nushan. Like, he's not just hard countered, you know what I mean? If he can hit those same black holes like that, Radiant has Dire muted.
That's how it's done.
Naturally.
Okay.
This is only natural.
I don't think that is that typically. I didn't think this was as much of a problem in the NA region. I know SA region with all the tipping and the.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to mute. You definitely want to mute.
So what do you do? You just have your team captain stay unmuted the entire time?
No, you mute the captain as well, you know? If they call GG, you'll see it come up on the screen eventually.
Right.
Unmute them on pauses, that's fine. Kunkka's actually heading to the bot lane, although he does have a mid-starting build.
I think he's just going to try to help...
Fight the rune?
Yeah, I think this is just the basic rune contestation. For some reason, I can't scroll out during these team fights, so... Sorry, guys. I'm not sure what's going on with my settings, but I'll do my best to follow all these fights.
That's rough, because we have Enigma.
We have an Enigma. Yeah, this is really bothering me, but I can't actually scroll out, and I have no idea why.
These fights are going to be relatively spread.
Yes.
Yeah, very
Especially with the Pangolier, too, rolling around.
Oh my god, yeah, this is going to be nuts.
Yeah, doing my best, like I said. Alright, so a bit of the fighting going on here, both rune sides here. Looks like they're going to just leave Lelis over here. Wilkins just hit up. There's a jump forward coming out from Bratz. Going to try to put some more damage over here onto Lelis. Again, Eternal Envy just going to push them back. And Flea was able to go and grab one of those runes here top for the side of Flying Penguins.
So, 2 for 2? There's one rune that hasn't been grabbed, or is that just not showing up on my feed?
It might just not be showing up, because IX might got one.
Did a rune get denied? Why is there only 3 showing up?
It's possible
on
that
the
it got
feed?
denied. We were looking at the bottom the entire time, so.
Oh no. Yeah. What's maybe Sammy Boy sent a wolf and he denied it.
That's possible. I saw a wolf like running away from the Shadow Shaman, so definitely a possibility.
Oh man, I am concerned about this top lane though. I feel like Lycan in the laning stage is not going to do great against a Viper.
Sounds like a bad comedy.
Lycan in the
laning stage.
Lycan in the
lane. Some 90s Nickelodeon music too coming out here.
He's not liking this lane.
Oh, GG. GG.
Report me.
Jenkins is fired. What's going on here in this mid lane? Man, Furioya playing very, very forward here, putting a lot of pressure over onto Gunnar. Pretty evenly matched in terms of CS, but definitely a lot of aggression coming out from this Kunkka.
Yeah, the later and later this goes, the harder it gets for Gunnar. Ooh, be careful! There's a courier! Oh, you can't cleave it. Today I learned. Do you know you can throw the tiny tree and kill the courier?
Yes, I knew that.
I had no idea.
I was aware of that because I've seen it happen in games before when I'm casting.
I had to test that in a lobby. Was it you that said that you could do that, and I didn't believe you, and I had to go test it? Somebody that I was casting with or playing with was like,
"You're too popular. You don't remember who you're casting with anymore."
I don't know. There's so many people, you know.
Jenkins is just too popular. One of the casts that he did recently.
One of the many casts. Invis coming in hot. Lelis. Doesn't want to contest Newsham, surprisingly, though. I love that Newsham's just jungling. Just takes a creep from the bot lane, just jungles. It's essentially another core. This is like the only acceptable time where you can jungle in your pubs, is if you're playing Enigma and you're constantly denying a lane as well.
And it's not something that you see, well, I should rephrase this. This is something you really, shouldn't see a lot of in your pubs, but,
Probably will. See a lot of jungle legions in your pubs, too.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Iron Talon. Just remember the days of, like, just go. You didn't like your team. Things seemed really rough, and you're like, you know what? I got to carry this game. I got to go and take my Drow Ranger and go jungle.
Oh, my God. As if that's the way to carry the game. Go Iron Talon jungle.
I don't know.
It's a backward mentality.
A little bit. IX Mike might be in for a little bit of trouble here. Lion gonna try to run out of that. Another Tox does a lot of damage. It's not gonna be quite enough, do they? No, they find it. Snake King gonna be able to get the first blood on IX Mike. It looks like they want to go for more here. Flea going forward, has his eyes over here onto the Lycan, actually pops that Mango. He's hoping to maybe get those shackles on the Nether Toxin. He's still standing in it. Eco shot coming through. Nice Earth Spike coming out again against Flea. Got another Mango. He's looking to see if he can find Sammy Boy here, and they're just dodging around the tower. He's taking a lot of damage, though. He needs to be very careful right now because IX Mike is chasing after him with a vengeance. It's like Flea trying to juke himself around here into the trees. Will eventually get found by Mike.
He's a madman.
I'm not sure what he's hoping to do here. All right, another Toxin gets thrown down by Snay. He's hoping that maybe they can get the shackles off if he's a little bit too careless, but does not appear to be the case. Now these wolves going to chase down Flea, turning their attention now over onto Snake King. Ether Shock gets used. Snake King, he's got a couple stick charges. He's just gonna walk himself away and try to chip down over here onto these wolves. Earth Spike gets used though over here onto Fleas, trying to run himself back. That break coming through again over onto Sammy Boy. We're losing. What's happening in all the other lanes? I'm still watching. They eventually find that Ether shot, get that kill. Will they be able to get the kill on IX Mike though is the next question here. Do you have a Salve and a Fairy Fire? Elder Titan making this rotation top. They see Mike here. They want to take him down. Earth Spike comes through and that's the end of Mike.
Those were really nice jukes from Francis. Like,
Alright, so who else died during all that?
Okay, so Gunnar killed Royoya solo mid, and
Okay.
then Eternal Envy killed Brax, I believe with Elder Titan, and then Elder Titan TP top.
Yeah, I saw
So,
that rotation for sure.
The biggest deal is honestly Gunnar killing Royoya. Like, Eric's gotta chill, man. Like, these games, his team is destroying the side lanes, and there's some situations where if he's just playing a little less aggressive, like he was level 4 to Gunnar's level 6 in a matchup where he counters Gunnar. That's pretty rough for when you're already and still they have a gold lead despite getting solo killed. But Gunnar has like 10 denies. I feel like if Eric just pushes the mid lane with Tidebringer and then jungles and doesn't play overly aggressive and put himself out of position, they just win this game really easily. And then Nusham has to carry because he's jungling, you know? He's kind of sacrificing the Pangolier to jungle. Because these other lanes are winning. Solo kills are much more important than any of these like side lane kills that we've been watching. Snakey actually goes for mana boots first in this game. I think he went for a couple of crowns in the previous one, so I guess he feels like he's going to be farming more, fighting less, which makes sense against a Lycan. When he's level 6, it's not a hero that you can really pressure all that hard.
Bottom lane though, Envy might be in for a little bit of trouble. Hex is going to come out here. Brax chasing him down very slowly here. Turns his attention back. Doesn't quite have that slide up just yet, although the lucky shot coming through with the silence. We'll be able to follow up with the Earth Spike. Oh, Envy, I think he might have gotten a little bit too greedy here. Almost finds the kill.
Oh, he
Mike
killed
will
him?
actually find him.
What?
Now it looks like Envy going to be taken down though, and I think Brax is perfectly okay with losing IX Mike in turn for Eternal Envy.
I don't know, if I'm Envy, I'm kind of cool with that. It's like you gank me and I turn it and kill you. Once again, it's a solo kill, so you get... Remember, how the gold and experience bounty works is it's just split evenly, so... then again, Brax did get the kill after his Lion died, so technically that's a solo kill as well. So actually, I think you're right. I think it does favor Brax, but still, if you're Envy, it's gotta kind of feel good to be ganked, to just turn around and kill somebody.
I don't know though, because again, it's just a support. You lost your safe lane core.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I don't...
It's still gotta feel pretty good though, like, just a little bit. Just, hey, you wanna gank me?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him later. I'm not sure if he's necessarily going to agree with you on that. But we do have Lelis kind of hanging out over here in the jungle, keeping tabs over onto Gunnar, and they did manage to take that top tower, and they're still going for more here. No Serpent Ward's quite online just yet for Flay, still sitting at level 5, but I'm sure he's going to get that pretty quickly. And I think a lot of these towers are just going to get taken down.
Oh, the nice fort. Nice fort from Dyer. Gets the Siege Creep killed.
It's like Envy really needs help here. Brax and the Centaur are just chasing after him around in circles. Lucian coming forward here, still sitting at level 5. Slide will come through. Nice team chase. The follow-up with the Centaur Stomp and the lucky shot. The silence coming through. We'll be able to use the Pango Rolling Thunder. Envy gonna have to run himself over here into the trees, but IX Mike, he's been waiting for him the entire time. Gets that Urzik. There's gonna be the pinball rolling through. Brax finds himself a kill on Envy.
Where are you watching?
Team is making such good rotations in both of these games. Although
Torrent and Boat coming through. We'll be able to take down Brax, and are they going to be able to find Nusham? Although this creep helping him out quite a bit. Doesn't matter. He'll get the cleave off of it and take down Nusham.
That's a solo double kill from Eric.
Still no level 6 yet over here on Flea, but might actually be dead here. Yeah, there's going to be the Hex coming through. Hex coming out again, though, as they swap. We've got 2 Shadow Shamans chasing after each other here through the Dire Woods. I think Flea's actually going to be okay, though, because I think, yeah, again, Gunnar much rather be hitting some creeps than chasing a Shaman around through the woods.
That Windlace. That very convenient Windlace. You know what's interesting to me? The fact that Windlace gives you a static amount of movement speed, 20, but if you upgrade it into Tranquils, it turns into a percentage. So, like, you could actually lose movement speed by upgrading to Tranquils.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
Depending on the math of what other items you have. So Flea might actually be faster than if you were to have Tranquils. Probably not, but he might.
Run that NA math for me then, bro. Let me know.
I'm not educated enough to do that. I'm on Windows 97 too. I can't open a calculator. It hasn't been programmed in there.
Lucky shot coming through over here on Kinka. Not going to be able to get that X marks combo off right now. Brax running himself back, and he's going to go. Uses that Rolling Thunder to get himself away from the boat. We'll turn his attention back around to Roya. He's just going to roll on out, Autobots.
Envy coming to bot lane too with the double damage. Heads to mid lane. This is a good timing for Team. They have 2 Helm Doms, Lycan, and Enigma. So a lot of summons, a lot of pusher potential. Lee is such a dead man.
Oh yeah, he is. He's a dead boy. Was just trying to soak up the XP, I think, to get that level 6, but will get taken down by IX Mike.
Yeah, that was nice little smoke rotation from Team. Although IX Mike is level 4. There's a tomb available. Tomb, whichever way you want to pronounce it. You know. Excuse me, sir. It depends if you're English or British.
Excuse me, sir.
You know.
Gonna have a little bit of a chase going over down here. Snaking trying to run himself out, but it's just gonna get hexed up, slowed down by all of these menagerie of creatures coming out from Sammy Boy. And he will get taken down. Ray gonna be able to grab himself that haste rune, and yeah, you're just gonna go right back to farming up over here in these lanes.
So Viper is still the highest CS hero, not the most farmed, highest CS, just due to all the kills that have happened. But killing him is still very important, because we know how Snake King likes to play this, watching in the previous game. He literally doesn't even have the Viper Strike. He's just 0-4-3 build. So this guy is purely a farming hero.
You say that, and he's also just a menace to be around in the lane as well. Like the amount of ganks that they've been trying to get off. And again, he's only, he's got 1 kill, 2 assists here, but it's just very, very scary to go up against this guy right now. It feels like you either have to commit a lot for him, or you need to rotate, or rather, just ignore him. Yeah, I don't think you can afford to ignore him, right?
Speaking of ignoring him, they're actually going on him, but there's a smoke rotation coming up here.
Oh my god, did you see how fast Morphling just went down there?
Yep.
Alright, Snake King now. He might be in for a little bit of trouble. Finds himself this Enigma, and he's doing a decent amount of damage over here. Roya gets the X marks off, gonna be able to drag him right back into that Nether Toxin. He gets himself a double kill over here. It's a nice D-ward off here on the side, and they had to use the Rolling Thunder to get Brax out of that engagement.
That's so funny. You're just like, how do they kill this guy? And then they try to go on him and just get wiped because there's a rotation coming up.
The opposite of the caster's curse.
Right, exactly. FP knew it. They knew, like, all right, let's just put this, like, really tanky, ridiculous Snake Man in a terrible position and then smoke behind him. Surely Team will take the bait. They were right.
This is not looking good for Brax over here, and they try to go and get that stomp off. He's going to be able to go get himself away, although Eternal Enemy making this rotation. The taunt comes out, followed up with the Torrent. Need a little bit more damage here to take down Brax. A little that lucky shot coming through will silence up Lellis. It looks like Pango's going to make it out. But it looks like Lycan also needs to be a little bit careful here. Does have his wolf form, should be able to just charge on out and away, because they didn't get that X off. I don't think they had. Yeah, they did.
It was close. It was a close one. Once they have the Atos, they're in a lot better of a position on FP to take these fights. Like, the Lycan can actually just run away from them right now, but the X isn't enough. It'll bring him back, but they probably won't kill him. But with the X plus Torrent, plus the Atos, that's definitely enough to deal with the Lycan.
I mean, the more lockdown that they have, obviously, the better it's going to be. And this is nasty. Snake King actually has himself a double damage over here. Lion over here onto the corner does get X'd up, and Snake King comes in, just casually throws out that Hitchcock spot with the Viper Strike. Is it going to be enough? He's ticking down, I think. He's actually going to make it out. Makes it out with 50-something hit points. That's very, very close. I think one more auto attack
tried to deny him. I watched Gunnar stop his character. I don't know if he tried to deny him or what.
I don't know. It definitely looked like he was thinking about it, but that's not quite how that works.
No, unfortunately. I don't know why. What, Gale, Doom, and Queen of Pain Dagger that can be denied? That's it, I think. Anything else can't deny for some reason. And this Shadow Shaman, he has an Ether Lens. That's not great for the Morphle.
Terrifying, yeah.
Yeah. Gunnar's actually rushing straight. So he went for Morbid Mask, Drum of Endurance, and now he's going BKB. Makes sense. Flying Penguins, they have a lot of magic damage. And that'll protect him from the Hex unless they get the jump.
Oh, there's a Hex. Speaking of, followed up with, they just use everything in the kitchen sink over here. They use the boards, they use the boat. There's even Rolling Thunder, though, coming out from Brax, trying to push them back. Again, Newsham, he does have the black hole over here, but he's got to find that right opening, and he's actually backing off here. Gunner sitting very, very low himself. Can't really afford to be going in on this. Newsham still thinking about going back in. Does have that creep over there. They'll be able to go, throw down the Spirit. X marks the spot coming out over here onto Newsham. They want to make sure they take him down before he can get that black hole off, but he's just sitting in that nether toxin. The Slight comes through, and Eternal Envy gets the kill. They'll get a tower as well. Sleep landing over onto the rest of the side of Team, but looks like they're not going to push it just yet. They're going to be patient. They don't have Eternal Envy with them. He did move back down to a Remnant, grabs himself the Arcane Rune in the bottle. They're just going to play it cool on the side of Flying Penguins.
Yeah, that was pretty nice from FP. Like the way that they were trying to play that was just essentially zone behind the tower while the Shadow Shaman wards were doing work on the tower. But finding the Enigma is just such a great opening that even though it's behind enemy tower, you can still take the opening and go for him.
Well, you got to give props to Newsham because he tried really hard to stay far back and make it so that way, you know, he couldn't get jumped on, but they just found the opening, and especially too with the Elder Titan being able to throw out that Spirit doing the scouting. Do have a disarm though over here onto Eternal Envy. He's gonna have to run himself away from Brax, but IX Mike is also nearby with the Hex, and he says, no, we have to run. We do not want this fight. The X comes out though, and Brax, he tries to get that ultimate off. They're still gonna be able to find that kill. In comes Gunner though, trying to keep his eyes over here onto Eternal Envy. He's gonna have to go use that Remnant. There's gonna be the sliding going around, followed up with this Earth Splitter coming through. It's not gonna be all the black hole comes through. They'll be able to take down Ryoya. Can they finally take down Snaking? It's not looking like they're gonna be able to find it just yet, but Gunner waveforms through, finds that opening. Now Newsham will get taken down, and now all it is Eternal Envy left against Gunner over here. Gunner is going to turn his attention instead over onto Lellis as he gets chased down. Sammy Boy standing nearby. This is looking like we're going to lose Lellis here.
Yeah, Mike had finger that whole time, being really patient with it. Oh, top lane, Brax.
Oh, Brax, the Hex comes through the Ether Shock and the Shackles. And that is a, oh wow,
so close.
So close. And that bottle charge to the last second too.
Oh my god, that would have been a disaster if we killed him. Because he's got the XP talent, so a solo kill would be... I mean, dude, Flea's the highest level in the game.
Is he really right now?
Yes!
Oh my god.
He's got the... Okay, wait. Oh no,
no
Gunner. Okay.
Gunner.
He's the highest level on his team. He's the highest level on his team.
Well, the rest of his team is fairly close by over here. Slide over here onto Newsham. Brax still standing nearby. Well, we've seen a lot, like, whenever you've got a Shadow Shaman, right, on the side of the Radiant, they tend to just kind of live in the top lane after a certain point. I think it was, like, last time, you see it fairly commonly. What sticks out for me, I think it was Taiga on Alliance was doing that. He was, like, really, really smart in the way that he was moving about the map and making sure that, like, he was always hiding in the trees. Every time he knew where everyone was, he was making this rotation and just dropping wards and just constantly shoving in that top lane, so... It doesn't surprise me on that. Hex coming out, though, over here on the bottom lane. Oh, Gunner! Oh, no.
He's level 14, dog. That's like the best kill that you can get at this point. Although, by the shrine.
Okay.
That's
just
a good kill,
casual
too.
pick off here for Sammy Boy takes out Eternal Envy. Brax gonna roll his way out. There's gonna be a buyback over here. Look at this damage coming out, though. They've got their eyes over here on the line. They'll take him down. They've got their eyes over onto this Lycan. He is toast. Boat not necessary, just for style points here.
That invis room from Eric was beautiful. Walks up to the high ground, scouts the back line, says, guys, I have an invis, wait for them to get out of position, and then we'll go on them. And there's just nothing that Team could do there. Newsham's waiting in the trees, but...
He doesn't have Black Hole.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have Midnight Pulse. Like, I don't know what he's hoping to do over here.
I don't know.
Brax is nearby too. He's just trying to maybe get a pick off, and they will find it. They take down Flea. They actually go and use Gunner, turn him into their very own Viper, which will help them out a lot as they take down Ryoya. Now, the Stomp coming out. Nice play by Lellis, making sure that he can get his Snake King out.
But get that double damager. Don't let Gunner get it.
Now, Eternal Envy wants it. Are you kidding me? He's going to turn back around. It's a Viper on Viper action here, but they also have themselves this Mangolier. There's going to be the Earth Splitter used on the back lines. Doesn't do a whole heck of a lot. Bit of a weird engagement coming through here, and looks like Envy's not quite done yet. He's going to zip forward, manages to get those steering chains over here onto Brax. Brax going to try to run himself out, and that's the DD coming through. Does have that Rolling Thunder, should be able to run himself out, but that's a decent chunk of damage. This Courier zipping through over here onto the side will have to get forwarded out, and it looks like Brax will make it out as he goes and TPs through.
That's pretty decent for Team. They have Lycan farming the whole time, but you could also argue it's pretty decent for Flying Penguins just because they were essentially 3v5ing during that time, just because of the double damage rune, but it's more of just like a convenient rune. Very lucky to pick that up and force team back. Can't get any towers or anything like that during the downtime when there's only 3 heroes alive on the enemy team because of that DD. Now they have the black hole, so and they're going to have Blink on Nusham soon. Like, they haven't had Blink in any of these fights, and we saw what he could do with it in the last game, so he picks it up now. I don't know if he's going to want to reveal the Blink. Maybe just use the just use the demonic conversion. Sits in the trees. Doesn't exactly do it.
Over in the mid lane though, they've got their eyes over here onto the Lycan, and they just take him down. Easy peasy. Necro Book 3 online as well, so they're going to be able to take down all of this vision. Brax having to just run away here.
They're going to go for a smoke on team, I think. It looks like it. Where's the smoke at? I don't know.
See, if they do this though, look at the top lane. Flea. This is what we see from Shadow Shaman. Alright, he is making the rotation back down, but he could have actually dropped wards if he wanted to. If they broke out into a fight, he could have gotten himself a tier 3.
At least he forces a rotation to the top lane.
Oh
so
boy.
Now
that is a gunner. That is a goner as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted to do.
Nusham. We don't get the stop.
That was really close. Shaman wasn't in range too to Hex, so I think he did have the blink. Yeah, that pushing the top lane from Flea is so obnoxious because it forces team to know that they can't make a play. They need to deal with the lanes, so we could see them split up, and the moment they started splitting up, he TPs to the bot lane, and they get that pick off. Like, that was all completely set up by Flea. He's this game is actually, both of these games have been like largely in control by the 4 roles, which isn't a huge surprise. That's how it is a lot of the time in Dota, but God, these guys are playing real well. And we have the blink on Nusham too, so we're going to see a much larger impact from him.
I feel like the side of Flying Penguins, though, they're never like 100% together, though. There's always someone that's kind of off on the side, whether it's their split pushing or, you know, their positioning is just really, really good. So I think it's still going to be really difficult for Nusham to find this opening. Because again, like we said, if he jumps in with that black hole and he doesn't grab the Elder Titan, he can, even with a BKB, get disturbed out of it. And then on top of that, you have, of course, you know, multiple ways of canceling out that black hole because he doesn't have the BKB just yet either.
Yep, and he also just walked through vision, so he doesn't have that aspect of them not knowing that he has a blink. They are aware that he has a blink. I think, like, you could take one fight where they don't know he has a blink, get a huge black hole, and then get a lead off of that. But they should know that he has this blink. They've seen him walk through this the Radiant ward that was in the top jungle, and it's now gone, but they saw him, so yeah, you're right. It's still hard, especially because they know that he has that blink. And you can see that they're not just, like, fighting willy-nilly into them. They actually have something to be afraid of now. Sammy Boy doing a nice job pushing the bot lane. Just like...
I'm gonna spot him out here going into Roche.
Oh,
and
this could be
huge. I don't think you can get it. No, I don't know if they can really even get into that pit. Because first of all, they've got an Elder Titan who is like one of the best heroes around the Roche pit, right? You've got the boat.
The wraparound.
Oh, Viper Snaking gonna show himself. Here it goes. Uses the H-host, drops that another toxic. There's a jump forward. Look at the damage coming out here. The Hex coming out. They just take down Gunner immediately. Black Hole comes out over here onto the side. Nusham managing to only grab himself. This Kuka, the Mirror Splitter comes through as well. Now the Lycan trying to run himself away. He's trying to just run down Flea here. He's got the Hex. They'll get the stomp off. Roya coming forward. Torrent's gonna be able to connect Brax. Nusham trying to do whatever he can to help him out over here. But they will lose Brax over on that other line. And I hear a Viper Strike going through. Oh my goodness. They will lose Sammy Boy.
Flea is carrying this game so hard right now. Like, if you don't have Morphling, it's the same problem as last game. If you don't have Morphling in these fights, you don't have damage for the black hole. Especially if you have your team zoning the other heroes. Pango was zoned. Lycan was just stuck. He wasn't doing anything. Morphling is like all the damage right now. He's the only threat to Flying Penguin.
He melts
so to the Shadow Shaman.
It is insane.
Dude, he had a BKB, and it doesn't matter because Flea has been on point every single time, getting him in the ward trap, getting him with the Hex. It's just, it's not that hard of a Morphling game. I mean, it's a pretty hard Morphling game. It's not that hard. Just Flea's making it so hard for Gunner. He is not giving him any space to do anything in these fights.
I'm
He's
so
level
happy that Flea
17
found
on
himself a
Flea.
team, because I remember which team was it that there was another iteration. Was that Test 123 that he was on?
He was on, yeah, he was on Test 1, 2. He's been on like the odd NA stack, you know, and he's always been the standout player.
Yeah, he's been for a while, and like I remember too when he was playing the SA quals, just the way that he, well, I think it was on SG, his Naga. And Naga wasn't even that popular at the time. Oh boy, all right, that's slides here. Chain's gonna hold on to him for just a little bit. They do manage to find the kill though, over onto Lelis. Maybe a little bit too forward. Snaking now also might be in for some trouble. If they get lucky, shot it up, but will be able to move himself away. But yeah, no, Flea has been definitely an outstanding position 4 player for quite a while, and it's always been really remarkable to see how not only does he have great positioning and shows up to the right fights, but also the fact that he's able to find a lot of farm, right? I feel like he's one of the greedier 4s, and he almost always manages to find quite a bit of farm on the map.
It's true, and he does it in the same way. Like when he played with us on Leviathan originally, he was basically a Storm only player, and the way that he played Storm was very different from how other people played Storm. He split push with Storm. And that's what he does with almost everything. Like, he will clear waves, he will be behind your tier 3 cutting waves, just being extremely annoying. His IX mic goes down.
Yeah, I was watching that here in the bottom lane. They actually used the Earth Splitter for that, but they also used the wards in the Roche pit too. And but now becomes the question, how do you kill Snaking?
God.
It seems to be the name of the series, is how do we kill Snaking? He's died twice this time, so that's a little bit...
So he's sitting on 2,600 gold, so that's probably a pipe of... or that's probably like a hood, at least, that's going to come out for him soon. And that makes things a lot harder because, as I was mentioning in the previous fight, like the massive amount of damage from Team really comes from this Morphling. And he's... basically magical burst damage at this point.
Yeah, we do have
not that much of it though, because he does have a BKB.
True. We do have the split push coming out from Sammy Boy, so was able to take down that tower, but he is going to have to eventually make his way home when they inevitably go for that high ground push here. But they're being very patient. Snaking going to go for this TP out. Just going to go push out this bottom lane.
Makes sense. It's very hard, very scary to push into an Enigma who can be sitting in the trees. Pangolier, who if you're trying to fight him in a choke point can just bounce around and absolutely destroy you. And then like a split pushing Lycan, it's not an easy team to high ground against.
No.
So this is a really good choice.
Do you see what Flea picked up?
Agnum Scepter.
He does. He's got a full Ags.
He's got the cast range
count too. Lelis, hello, just running in at literally all of these heroes. All right, that's a little bit of a feed.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he did that.
I mean, he's a 5-roll. It's not the worst. Another thing to consider is that the gold calculation is now based off of not off your team's net worth, but it's based off of your personal net worth. Yeah, so it's not that big of a deal because he's super underfarmed. He's got half the farm of like a Pangolier, just having a very rough game. So
it's because Flea is soaking up all the rest of the farm on the map. You kidding me?
He really is, but hey man, it's worth it.
It's working. It's good.
This guy's the highest. I think he's the highest level in the game now. Yeah, he is. What a god. That's just waiting behind Royoya.
Just sniping some of that gold too, from the trees.
Oh, did he use the Ether Shock? That's such a Flea move.
He's probably feeling pretty good right now. I mean, he's really, really wealthy. In terms of being a position 4 Shadow Shaman anyways, right?
Yeah,
he is right underneath Envy in terms of net worth right now.
He's a core, dude. He's going for a refresher orb next too. Like, these fights are going to be so... Honestly, the fights are going to be really hard just without the refresher orb, because the Agnum Scepter... Oh my god, Snaking, just farming.
Snaking doesn't care. He's got an Aegis. He's got himself the full Guardian Greaves. He knows his team's backing him up. Like, look at them scatter on the side of Team. They're just running right back behind this tower.
It's hard. It's a hard push, though, and they know it. Although they do have the Serpent Wards from Shadow Shaman. That makes it a little bit easier. But
it's interesting that they just go and... Do they have creeps? They don't quite have those creeps in mid just yet here. But, alright, looks like this is going to be a pretty fast Aegis if they're not careful. It's going to be the roll forward coming out from Brax. We'll be able to land over here onto Snaking. They should be able to pop that Aegis now. Rolling around back here over onto the corner. They do manage to find Flea, though, so he's going to get taken down. Snaking back up. The BKB actually getting popped over here onto Gunner, but it is going to wear out, and they're going to turn right back around again. Snaking, he does so much damage, and they're actually going to use those Guardian Greaves over onto Brax, trying to keep him alive just a little bit longer, but the X comes out. Gunner, he's going to be able to go disjointed. Sammy Boy pops his own BKB, and they're running right back in, and these wards actually doing a decent amount of damage during all of this right now. And again, he's worked himself over into this Viper, but he's got to just waveform himself away because they're just chasing after him with a vengeance. Again, popping those Guardian Greaves, turning their attention now over onto these racks. Shane's going to get thrown out over onto Sammy Boy. And it looks like they're going to just finish up over here, still holding onto that black hole.
Yeah, the moment he uses it, and if it's not okay, so he's the BKB now, so that's what he was waiting for. But the moment he uses it, and it's not, if it's not successful, they just lose the game because in the 180-second downtime,
yeah,
surely Flying Penguins will get 2 racks. Yeah, there's no way the team turns this game without a black hole. So Nushim is being super patient with it. It was interesting that Flying Penguins, they knew how dangerous that was, but they just said screw it. Like they wanted to use that Aegis, and that's an interesting choice because as we could see, like
I think if Lee doesn't die there, I think the fight goes a little bit differently.
For sure.
It was just bad luck that they happened to know that he was hiding over there in the corner.
Yeah, good. Kudos to Gunner for jumping him in the trees with the BKB, like understanding how much of a threat that hero is. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen like Flea has been killing Gunner in every fight, so Gunner just says, "Okay, well I'm gonna pop my BKB. I'm gonna go for you, and then when you're dead, I don't have as much to be afraid of, and I can actually contribute in these fights." And the fight looks a little bit different. So
because I felt like Gunner gets just evaporated immediately in a lot of these fights too.
Yeah.
Like he never gets a chance to get that BKB off because Flea's just been so on point. So they're going back.
So they smoke up.
IX Mike will be the first person to see everyone here. He's going to just get evaporated by the Nether Toxin and, of course, these Agnum Scepter waves over here. Oh, boy, the BKB coming out from Nushim. He's going to be able to go, and they managed to go and grab themselves Eternal Envy. Who's going to be the buyback coming out immediately, though? Poke coming through. Brax in for a little bit of trouble trying to run himself away. These wards doing a lot of damage. Flea actually going to get himself a double kill here, and they've got the Hex over here over onto Gunner. It's going to be, again, the TP coming out from Sammy Boy. Fights are kind of going all over the place, guys. I'm sorry, I cannot zoom out on my mouse for some reason. BKB gets popped over here onto Sammy Boy. They want to turn and fight. Gunner having a lot of trouble here. He's stuck here with that Atos, followed up with the Torrent. Snaking might be in a little trouble, but they just evaporate him now. And Sammy Boy forced to run himself away. They get the hold over onto Barax, and he's gonna fall as well. Buyback coming out from the Morphling. Not a lot of mana over here left over onto the Snake King.
The aggressive tip onto Sammy Boy. Oh boy. Yeah, that was team definitely needed to just kill the wards.
Okay,
like the wards did so much work in the fight.
They did. They absolutely did. In fact, there's a little bit more damage coming out here. Man, Flea has just been on point. Again, another Hex coming through with that sleep into the shackles, into the Torrent, into the boat. See ya later, Gunner. And just like that, that's going to be a tower. Racks, they don't have the black hole up any longer, unfortunately.
FP actually made the mistake in that fight of not defending the wards, but they didn't get punished for it at all because team just ran right past the wards.
They ignored them, but they're Ags. They're Ags. Well, Flea.
Yeah, you can't ignore. I'd like to look at his hero damage after the game. You can't ignore those wards. He was killing the racks. He was preventing your Enigma's Blink Dagger. He was doing damage to people with the split shot on the wards. Like, you have to kill those. Like we've even seen teams Naga sleep to kill wards. That's how important they are. Flying Penguins cannot fight without wards. If you force an Eternal Envy buyback,
how do you? I think this is it. How do you fight into these right now? One last hurrah, though, coming out here. Atos gets used over onto Braxis. BKB coming out from Sammy Boy here. He's trying to just chase down BOA. They drop that sentry. They actually have Dust, too, over here onto Nushim. Roya just trying to run himself away. Sammy Boy just feels like he's running around in circles right now. The BKB is over. He's trying to find an opening. They'll turn their attention over onto Nushim. There's going to be a zip board coming out from Envy. Mike's in very, very low. Fingers actually going to get used, but it doesn't do enough damage. Mike actually going to get taken down. BKB is going to get forced out from Nushim because he knows that he's not going to make it out alive otherwise. And it looks like we're not going to see this Lycan get out alive either. There's going to be the buyback again. Their throne's going down very, very quickly over here. And they find another kill over onto Brax. I would say that's GG.
God, man. Have you felt like the Lycan has been useful at all in this game? I feel like
but I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to be that guy. Oh, they do find a kill on Lilith.
I say it like with like like Sammy Boy is an incredibly good player who frequently carries team, and I know how he communicates. He totally controls a game, but it's felt like in these games he's had no impact, which is largely due to the fact that he's laning against a Viper and a Shadow Shaman. Like, this lane is just completely demolishing the safe lane every single time. They're losing the safe lane tower super early into the game, which gives Flying Penguins the tempo, and usually when they have a draft that is superior in the late game, they're getting the tempo, which is incredibly problematic if you're the team that's supposed to have that tempo. We saw them briefly there run around with like all the summons, but it didn't amount to much.
His hero damage that he put out on Sammy Boy's Lycan is 8.9k, and then Flea's is 19.5k.
What a god.
What a god. That's insane. Like, well, also, again, this combination with the Viper and Flea, it's just so dirty, right? Because it enables Viper to get what he needs. It allows Flea to kind of accelerate too if he can get some kills early, make a lot of pressure around the map. It goes hand in hand. It's very much a peanut butter and jelly kind of combo. Or wait, is that a thing? Do you guys eat that in Canada? I know that's like a very American thing. It's a very American thing. So this is the NA qual, so I think it's okay.
It's really rude of you to mention that though, because I'm allergic to peanut butter, so that offends me.
I didn't know that. All right, almond butter, sun butter. Are you allergic to all nuts?
Nutella. I'll put Nutella.
Okay, Nutella and jelly or something. I don't know. Nutella and marshmallow fluff. But no, this combo is just super dirty, and you can see, like, especially in the hands of Flea and the Snake King, what it does. So I think the next team that goes up, I don't know who actually went against, what is it, Zalato versus J-Storm? I don't know who's up a game or whatever, but the next team comes in against Flying Penguins, they gotta ban the Viper at the very least, and then be very aware that Flea is very dangerous on the Shadow Shaman for sure.
It's a first phase hero for sure. I feel like Flea is really hard to ban out, but
yeah,
and I mean so is Snake King, but the Viper has been just such a problem at all points in the game. It's like this little pool that he puts down is a team fight ultimate, but he just always has it up. It applies break, it reduces magic resistance, it's spammable, it stacks with itself. You can have two of them up at once. It eventually silences, it does a lot of damage, it costs a little amount of mana, it covers a large area, it's good for farming, it's good for laning, it's good for pushing out lanes. Like, it does everything for like 75 mana. This hero has just been straight up overbuffed. And I don't want to take away from like Flea's play. Obviously, he played extremely well. However, I would argue that these teams are much closer in skill than it looks like in these games. It's just that due to, I guess, not adapting to like the current pub meta, what people are discovering is like broken. It's resulting in Team just playing from behind every game. Like, they're just pressured. It just feels like they're never the ones applying any pressure.
For sure. But Team gonna get knocked down to the lower bracket. Flying Penguins, of course, staying here for the upper. And we do have another best of 3 coming up. It's going to be, I believe, Flying Penguins versus whoever wins the Zalato versus J-Storm game. And again, guys, apologies about some of these camera work. I have no idea why my mouse is, or my settings are bugged. I can't seem to zoom out. So I'm going to see if I can solve that in between the break. But stick around with us. We've got plenty more NA Dota coming up. See you soon.